Well, it's another Felabration, and you're here today. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel happy that, I'm part of such a beautiful and wonderful family. I'm happy that we can celebrate one of our greatest, you know, people that have contributed musically, culturally, ideologically to Nigeria, Africa, and the world, and that we can take a week to just spread love amongst each other, dance, have debates, have dance competitions, and a symposium for just really intellectual thought. So I'm just happy to be part of that.
Yeah, your music has emerged and is on the list of music to watch out for in terms of Afrobeat genre. What do you think about this, and where do you think your music is going?
I mean, I'm happy to be playing music, and myself and my band, we started in February, and so far we've had some really amazing gigs. We've played Terra Culture, we've played Shrine, we've played Moist Beach, we've played CCX. But that's just the beginning. There's always new music coming out. Our direction is very straight. We intend on being the most hardworking band that we can possibly be, and to honestly just keep putting out music that we believe is can contribute positively to people listening. Really affect them in a positive way.
Afrobeat is fast spreading and good enough. Burna Boy got a Grammy Award, and of course Whiskey too. With following his collaboration, and now you are doing this. What does this say to the world about Afrobeat?
I mean, it's very nice that it's very nice to be part of something that is, acknowledged around the world. And like myself and my father, as voting members of the Academy, it's very nice that we can contribute to diversity and really put a perspective, an African perspective, into the voting stages of the Grammy nominations as well. So everything is just nice to be a part of it. We're going to start voting soon, I think.
Okay. It's celebration this week for the whole of this month, and today is Fela debates. And the debate is evolution or revolution. What will you say Nigeria needs now? Evolution or revolution?
I think, for me, it's evolution. Revolution only if it's non-violent. I think we have to be careful of the consequences of a violent revolution and anarchy, because what it affects is not really the system. It affects children. It affects people that are trying to just survive by any means necessary to be able to see tomorrow and to provide a future for the people that are coming after them. So I believe that a mindset is what is necessary for change, not necessarily a violent outburst. Because history has taught us that despite revolutions creating different results, it often takes a lot of hardship. And I don't think we're prepared for that level of hardship.
Maybe you are not in support of the agitators.
I'm a intellectual agitator. I believe that the mind is where all the answers lie, and we can do it without violence.
What do you think we're going through the mind of Fela in his grave now?
Man, I hope he's dancing like us, and I hope he understands. I know he understands and appreciates everything that the country and the world are doing, at least for the people that actually understand what he represented. There are a lot of people with misinterpretations of what he was about, and a lot of people that now intentionally, separate his characteristics and try to highlight wrong and good, and not understanding that Fela is, like everybody else,
Okay, now today is Fela's debate. The topic is Nigeria evolution or revolution. What do you think Nigeria needs now? Evolution or revolution?
Let's put it this way. Nigeria needs to first to understand. It's an interesting topic, evolution or revolution. They're more or less combined in between the two. Nigeria needs to, first of all, wake up to its problems, the actual root cause of its problems, and understand that for you to resolve anything, you have to first resolve the issues that created the problem. Any disunity that anybody wants to create in Nigeria is a misnomer. Don't even listen to that. We are one country, but we need to change. We need to dig deep and change. In fact, I want to use the word revolution, revolutionize our thinking and understand that we cannot succeed without each other. Also understand that the things that we hold dear to right now are the politicians and all the people that we look up to. The end of in the scheme of things, it is you, the individual, that has the power to create what you want for yourself. But unfortunately, we forget ourselves and we look to our godfathers and all those kind of things. The point is this: united Nigeria is better than any other form of Nigeria. Number one. Number two, we just gotta wake up. We really have to wake up. So,
Thank you.
that's what you want to know.
Yeah. You didn't take a stand?
The stand is not a case of they're going to revolutionize or evolve. If by now you're stupid enough not to see what is going on, and you're dumb enough not to think that there needs to be a solution that quantifies that every single one of us. Because let me give you an example. We're all talking about disunity now. When we were younger, there was no such thing as you're from here, you're from there. Everybody's family, religion, we're all intertwined with each other, and we was a great nation. So anybody who's trying to cause discourse and divide you is just trying to distract you from what actually you should be doing, is uniting and fighting against one common scourge. Because if we have good leaders in this country has the resources to cater for everybody. Every single individual should not be starving. There should be schools, there should be education, there should be so much things. It's annoying because it's self-evident, but we like to walk around suffering and smiling.
Do you support the agitators?
Do I support agitators? I don't support anybody who's going to disunify the country, because whoever is trying to disunify this country is distracting you from the fact that if Nigeria unites and gets his act together, we are a formidable force. It's that simple. So anybody who's trying to divide you is doing it for their own selfish reason, because Nigeria is one. Simple.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's another edition of Felabration, and
Yes.
I can see everything's in place.
Thank you.
What will be different this year?
I'm not even in the mood to talk. The truth is, I'm so tired. I'm worried. Ask me at the end of Felabration how Felabration was different. Don't ask me at the beginning. But this year we have live coverage from DSTV, which is a good thing. So I'm happy about that. And then we have some African artists hopefully coming in. So that's another good thing.
Okay, today is Fela debate, and the topic is evolution or revolution. What do you think Nigeria needs now?
I think we need to restructure, but I think we should stay together. I don't think we should have war. War is not the answer. Like in Fela's song, war has never been the answer. It will never be the answer. So I think we need to sit down and talk like a people and decide which way we're going.
So what will you say to Nigeria leaders?
Hear the cries of your people. That's what I would say to them. Hear the cries of your people. Don't turn a deaf ear. Don't turn a deaf ear or a blind ear. You need to listen to us.
Thank you very much.
Member of the revolution now. Omo Yele show there.
All right, today is Felabration, and I want to talk about the place of Fela in Nigerian politics.
Fela, I grew up to know Fela, and Fela ideology cannot be swept under the carpet. He has done a lot for the young generation. He has spoken the truth. All the legacy with the young activists met on ground. Fela gave us the template to speak out our minds. We make us to be liberated or come out from our consciousness of mental slave trade. Fellas has done well, and I'm privileged in this generation that I can identify with his ideology.
Today is Fela debate, and the topic is evolution or revolution. What do you think Nigeria needs now?
The two topics sound bring a lot of consciousness to we people of Nigerians. Actually, now Nigeria need destructioning. We have been agitating for destructioning over a decade ago. It's unfortunate that an average Nigerian citizen has not woken up from their consciousness of slave trade, following the corrupt politicians and whatever. Evolution is to wake up our mind and let us waken up from our slumber.
Now, Evolution or revolution? I want you to be definite.
Oh, it's revolution I will stand for.
Revolution.
Yes, which well, my principal, Omoyele Sowore, have been agitating for. Is the first person that came out outside to say, no, revolution have been our lectures in the university hall in an hidden place. The only first person in the history of Nigeria, Omoyele Sowore, came outside to take the bull by the horn and say revolution now. We really need revolution in respect of the restructuring that we are agitating for. Revolution. Without revolution, we can't be liberated. If there is one revolution, one genuine revolution in Nigeria, the whole of Africa will be liberated. Revolution now, which I stand for.
Today is Fela's debates, and the topic is revolution.
Devolution, yeah.
So, where do you stand?
Well, I stand on devolution, where you let the power go to the distinct regions that are able to govern themselves and not be kept at the center. So we will learn from the debate and be educated further, but my general sense is that we need to decentralize our governance and let governance come closer to the people so that our leaders are held accountable and we are not befuddled by issues of religion, tribe, zone, quota, and we just run our country on the merits. You know, it's a bit more complicated than that, but we need to start talking about how we're going to get the country right. You know, it's funny how time flies. It's almost an eternity. I have different memories of him from when I was a child, you know, and he was just a regular uncle, an odd uncle, but still just a regular uncle, till when he became a major political force in our country and an opponent of all government. And I also remember life towards the end when he became ill. So I have many memories of him, and he truly is a hero.
He was very close to your dad, you know, and people think something special must be between them. I thought Fela was quite, you know, his character, you know, and your character. How do you think they were able to get it together?
Well, I think they were very similar, and they were close in age, and they were, you know, they knew.
They were closer than the same.
Yes, they were close to each other in age, I think. You know, there was just a year and a half difference between them, or 2 years difference between them, but they hung out. Their elder siblings had left home when they were still children, so I think they created a strong bond. And I used to wonder how they got along, because their modus operandi was different. Fela can turn up in our house at 3 a.m. coming to visit his brother who has gone to bed at, you know, 11 o'clock. But somehow they understood each other and they got along. And I think they shared the same goals for our country.
How do you remember your dad?
How do I remember my dad? Oh, I remember him as my dad. Mainly, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Try your best.
Now, wow.
Yeah.
Is it you that helped him?
Okay. Well,
Felabration organized speakers to come and speak to all of us. We have listened. We are going to digest what they have said. They said organize, they said participate. So it's left all of you to listen, including myself, and decide which way we want to go. If I'm going to speak, we are going to be here for another 30 minutes or 1 hour. You all heard Shehu, you all heard Mr. Femi Falana. What more do you want me to say? I don't want to, because if I start talking to you now, I'm telling you we are going to be standing here for another 30 minutes. But let me just summarize quickly for you. The way I see Africa's problem is we as a people must appreciate 500 years of slavery, 100 years of colonization, 70, 80, 60 years of bad African governments. But all this history is intertwined and are part of each other. It is one that led to one that led to one that are all still part of that same history of oppression. When you understand as young people 500 years, you see, when we talk about it, we just say, sometimes we have some people say, look, it happened, forget it, move on. The Jewish people don't tell you what happened to the Jewish during the Holocaust, that forget it. They had 6 years of oppression with the Germans. And every German government that comes into power has to first apologize for the Holocaust. That is how Africa must deal with its history. That any government that comes into power anywhere in the world must first apologize to the African people for slavery. And we must insist on it as a people. Our youth must be educated on making sure that every government from America, Germany that participated in African slavery must first apologize and acknowledge that they participated in slavery. You see, this is where strength comes in. When you understand, when the youth start to understand all this, then you understand that it's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen in 2020. I was telling the other journalists, when my father was speaking, and he became very politically active, it was in 71. I was 9. I'm 59. In my career, I've been singing now politically for 40 years. That's 4 decades. So you see, when somebody like me is just sitting down quietly, it's not because I cannot talk or shout. It's because I have a different perspective or interpretation of understanding time and appreciating that time I'm talking to you about. What my father went through, what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah went through, Marcus Garvey, that even if it wasn't for those people, probably I would not even care. I'll be singing, hey baby, I love you, please come to my house, let's have sex. Maybe I'll be singing about that. I won't even care. So you see, what I'm trying to explain to you, it is that time that brings us here, that some of us are passionate. But we must understand, we mustn't take 500 years of slavery for granted and think it's just going to end with the snap of the finger. It's going to take probably, I hope not another 500 years for that change. But we must keep on participating and educating ourselves on that change. That because, and I appreciate those people that have fought, names that we don't even know. So many people have died fighting for this change that we don't know. Patrice Lumumba, Mandela, even Muhammad Ali, Bob Marley. We have been singing about this change for a better life for the African people, and we have to keep on doing it. That a generation will come one day that even my own son, do you believe my son is even political? Go and listen to his album. He's even political now. If they told me 20 years ago I'm going to have a son that will be singing politically too, and that the struggle will still be talking about this in 2021, 20 years ago I probably will not know. But you see, after thinking and meditating and saying, wow, this is not going to just happen overnight, I start to appreciate that time I'm talking to you about. But if you don't get engaged, if the youths don't get engaged, we must not lose that trend, that thread of connection where we understand Martin Luther King and all these great people I've been talking to you about. Go, know that history, so that you appreciate your time and you will know yourself what you have to do to pass that same struggle. Because if we lose that historical fact of what has happened, then we lose where we are coming from, where we're at, and where we want to be. They say a man that doesn't know where he's coming from will not know where he is and where he's going. And that's the problem of the youth. They stop teaching history in schools. So we don't even know Nigerian history. How many young people know about the Civil War? How many people know what brought about the Civil War? And if we go on, you see, I can go on and on. I say, oh, you see, you're making me talk. I'm going to be here for 30 minutes. The participants of the Civil War, who trained them? The British. I'm talking to you in English. It's part of our problem. I should be expressing myself as an African in an African language. And you should be listening to me as in an African language. So this is the effects. I dream in English. I think in English. My children dream in English, think in English. It's a major problem. And we were taught to look down on anybody that was indigenous in their mind trait. But those are the people the government over the years should have preserved, that we mustn't lose our Edo language or Igbo language or Yoruba language. In the Yoruba land, they don't. Do you know how many Yoruba dialects there are? How many do we even know? Then we brought it to Lagos. We have one very foolish interpretation of all the dialects together. That is the worst Yoruba you can even think about. When you hear Yoruba Ijebu, so sweet, so musical. There is no African language that is not musical. We are losing it. But these are the things government, if governments were not part and parcel of all these big umbrellas that are keeping us oppressed, we will not even be talking about it today. Same system that people like us keep on talking about, agitating that we mustn't lose. But when we even talk about that change, they think it's violent. So they kill a Sankara, they kill a Lumumba, and they stop anybody that is agitating. Because if Africa becomes the envy of the world, let me even go, you see, we can divert. There's no topic we cannot go into that we will not go on for hours. How many of us, as Africans, are ready to visit even Nigeria to see how beautiful our country is? If they ask all of us, most of us, where would you want to go? Kenya, South Africa, or America? Choose any state in America. Do you know that 99% of the youth will choose America? Why? Because America has done so much propaganda to tell us their country is the most beautiful country. But I've been there. There's poverty there. They have their struggles. Their struggles. Look at Brexit. They don't highlight they are queuing for petrol or there's no food on in their this that they made a bad decision. They don't highlight it for us to understand that they have their problems. They are managing the problems, but they don't want us to manage our own problems. They bring division, war. They drum war. They drum violence. Who's going then? There is no African country that produces bullets. So our resources again to buy the bullet to kill ourselves. Which is why I'm telling you, the participants in the Civil War, General Gowon, who trained him? The British. Ojukwu, who trained him? The British. These two men spoke fluent English as all the political figures of that era, the founding fathers of Nigeria. Tafawa Balewa, fluent English. Nnamdi Azikiwe, fluent English. Chief Awolowo, fluent English. Then when they wanted to go and look for freedom for their people, they were against each other because the education of the colonial master taught them to hate each other already through ethnicity. So Igbo man must not like Yoruba man, you must be Yoruba man must be suspicious of it, and they also blah, 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 and they all went to London. Then the British, what could you do? Could tell Awolowo that, don't trust Nnamdi Azikiwe, don't trust this one. So they came back. Who organized the elections for them? The British. Who put the people in power again? Who did they answer to? The British. The people that they went to fight to, that they know they had better knowledge of slavery then than you today. Do you know about slavery? If I ask you, you don't know anything about slavery because you haven't read any books, because they refuse to teach you. But they that even knew, what did they do with the knowledge? Because they had been trained not to even do anything without knowledge. So, they go, give us the stupid education that they wanted to give us there to make us more slaves, start a civil war, and they have been manipulating us ever since then. Do you understand what I'm saying? But see, between 1960 and now, see how many lives have been lost. See how much time has gone. That even me that has this knowledge, I'm 59, next year I'll be 60. And my son too is now saying it. And I'm sure, his own children will be saying the same matter. But what is important is we have to keep on talking about it. So you don't forget. And you too go home and make sure your own children, if you're an Igbo boy, make sure your children speak Igbo. Think in Igbo. Dream in Igbo. They are the future of this country. What is the end result of what we are saying? Africa must be the envy of the world. Like I said, if I ask you, no, be honest with you. If I ask you, will you go to Kenya or America? Don't lie to me. You will choose America. But Africa is so beautiful. Why do you think they came here in the first place? We have the resources that none of them can dream of having in their land. Why did they come here in the first place 500 years ago? Because of our resources, our intelligence, the manpower, everything is here. that if African governments were good and were allowed to think Pan-Africanist in their minds, we will have a railway line from Lagos to Nairobi. Can you imagine a rail? But when they want to bring a railway line, they bring one that will be breaking down from just ordinary Kaduna to Abuja. They bring the railway line, they use all your money to buy a train that they have abandoned there. Not those fast TVA, or those fast trains that go at 300 and that I will go from Cotonou to Lagos in 30 minutes. Shoom! I mean, by rail. By here, Cotonou, Ghana, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso. Imagine building a solid railway line around Africa. Why would you want to go to America? Why would you spend your hard-earned African currency in America when you have not even seen the beautiful landscape of your own continent? So you must not be allowed to think like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see now, you have made me start sweating. You are making me talk, but I'm not a speaker. Can I go and start Felabration now?
Okay, sir.
Let's tell you about it again.
Let me take you a little bit out of
It's just a replay of many of those things we know. And what has become very important here is that we need to take actionable points out of here. This show event is just going to end up like any talk show if we do not pick up actionable points. And then we start organizing ourselves, to take over power politically. There is no other way around it. If you call it devolution, call it evolution, call it any other show, or coin anything out of it, if we are not taking action, to politically rescue ourselves, we'll just be making, the same error. We'll just be circumambulating around the same problems.